She's online. She's posting. She's laughing on her story. But your message, still sitting there, ignored. And you? You're checking your phone, replaying every word, wondering what you said wrong, why she pulled away, what signal you missed. Stop. That reaction, that spiral, that's exactly what she expects. She's testing you, not your message, your mind. And how you respond right now will either destroy her ego or hand it more power than it ever deserved. Today, we flip the script. 13 steps. One mindset. Stoic dominance. You're not here to be chosen. You're here to choose. Let's begin. Number 1. Accept that you've been ignored. Let's not sugarcoat it. She saw your message. She ignored it. No accident. No forgot to reply. No, maybe she's busy. She made a choice. To make you wait. To put you in emotional limbo. To test your reaction. Most people? They take the bait. They double text. They start validating. They panic. But you? You do the opposite. You accept it. With total calm. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means power. Because once you accept something, you stop giving it emotional control. Number 2. Feel nothing, literally. Here's where the war is won. In your emotions, when you're ignored, the first thing that rises, your ego, your anxiety, your need for validation. She's triggering your deepest fear, being invisible. That's where you lose. Because when you respond emotionally, you prove you're not in control. So now you go cold, internally. You don't analyze, you don't flinch, you don't assign meaning. She didn't reply. Cool. You move your focus, not emotionally, not with bitterness, with stoic clarity. Number 3, do absolutely nothing. This is the part she never expects. You don't text again, you don't like her post, you don't check in, you don't try to reclaim attention. You do nothing, because in that silence, her ego starts to question itself. Wait, why didn't he follow up? Why isn't he chasing? Why is he so quiet? And that silence? That's your move, because now you're not just another one in her inbox. You're the one she can't read. And mystery destroys ego. Number 4. Shift focus immediately. You've got 24 hours after getting ignored to win or lose this game. If you spend those hours refreshing your DM, you've already lost. But if you shift focus immediately to work, to your mission, to training, to purpose, you don't just regain control, you raise your value. Because now your silence isn't a reaction, it's a sign that you're too focused to care. And that is magnetic. Number 5, delete her from your daily input. Unfollow her. Mute her stories. Stop checking. Why? Because every view, every check, every click feeds her ego. You think you're watching passively? You're giving energy. And energy equals attention equals validation. So now you starve the ego. She doesn't just get silence, she gets absence. And in that absence, she starts to question. Did I just lose access to someone who didn't need me? Yes. Yes, she did. Number 6, don't play games, master the game. Here's where most lose themselves. They go from silence to manipulation. They post stories hoping she sees. They try to make her jealous. They mirror her energy out of revenge. Wrong move. Because every action with intention to be seen still screams, I need your attention. But when you truly don't care, when your actions are 100% about you, that's when the shift happens. You're not ignoring her to get her back. You're walking away to never need her again. You don't play games, you walk away from the board. Because mastery? is when she realizes this person didn't just disappear to get a reaction. They disappeared because they no longer care. And that breaks her ego. Number 7, stop proving your worth. When she ignores you, your ego immediately wants to prove something. I'm valuable. I'm different. I'm not like the others. And so, you double down on validation. You message again, you show up more, you get louder. Stop. That's how you lose leverage, because the more you try to prove yourself to someone who rejected your presence, the more power you hand over. You don't explain your value, you become it. You don't convince her to see you differently. You disappear until she has to wonder why you're gone. Prove nothing. Let your absence speak volumes. Number 8, detach your ego from her response. If her silence makes you doubt yourself, your ego is still attached. And that's dangerous, because then your emotions rise and fall with her replies. You're not leading, you're reacting. You don't want connection, you want validation. You want to feel seen. But here's the truth. Anyone who can make you feel less than with a delay owns your mind. That ends now. You detach your ego from the response. You stop making her silence mean anything about your worth. She didn't reply? Cool. You're still building, still growing, still valuable, because your identity doesn't shift when someone else looks away. Number 9, when she returns, don't validate it. Here's the test. She ignored you. Then, out of nowhere, she sends a message, a meme, a hey, a casual check-in. Now your ego wants to leap, celebrate, reward her return, resist. Because if you validate that comeback without accountability, you teach her, you can disappear and I'll still be here. And once she knows that, she loses respect, she loses interest, and you lose leverage. So when she returns, don't celebrate. Stay calm, neutral, grounded. You don't punish, you don't reward. You let her feel that your world continued without her. Now she knows she's not the center. She's a guest, in a space that no longer needs her presence. Number 10, if she never returns, you still win. This is where the real warriors are made. Sometimes, she doesn't come back, and that's okay, because her silence didn't ruin you. It refined you. You got better, sharper, calmer, more focused. You stopped chasing ghosts. You started building legacy. And if she never returns, she missed the evolution. But you didn't miss anything. You gained everything. Clarity, control, confidence, identity. You realized that rejection doesn't define you. Your response does. And you responded like a king. Number 11, never chase the energy that pulled back. This is the final test of all power. Can you resist the urge to chase what pulled away? Because the second you go after what left, you announce that you lack self-respect. It doesn't matter how pretty, how clever, or how rare she seems. If she pulled back, your only response is to do less, not out of revenge, not out of spite, but because you know one truth. What pulls away doesn't deserve pursuit. What stays silent doesn't deserve explanation. What leaves doesn't deserve your energy. You don't chase, you observe. You protect your focus. And in doing that, you become the one she can't stop thinking about. Because you're the one who didn't flinch when she disappeared. You let her go, and that silence echoed louder than anything you could have said. Number 12, become the source, not the seeker. Here's the shift that makes you untouchable. You stop seeking approval. You stop needing attention. You stop chasing energy. You become the source of calm, of value, of presence, of gravity. People feel you walk into a room, not because you're loud, but because you're complete. You're not texting for connection. You're building. You're not waiting on replies. You're writing your life in silence. The moment you realize you were always the source, you never need to beg again. And the moment she realizes that you've become someone she can no longer reach, her ego collapses because she didn't just get ignored, she got replaced by the version of you that no longer needed to chase her. Number 13, your silence is the message. You've been told to speak up, to explain, to clear things up. But silence is a language of its own. When you go silent, you force the world to listen differently. She expected a reaction. She got your absence. She expected to control the energy. She got left behind. She expected you to chase. You walked. Now she sits with it, not because you wanted her to suffer, but because you finally remembered. Your energy is too expensive to give to people who treat it like it's cheap. You speak with actions. You speak with detachment. You speak with evolution. And your silence is the loudest, most soul-piercing message she will ever receive. She ignored you. She pulled back. She made you doubt yourself. And for a moment, you almost gave her exactly what she wanted. An emotional reaction. But now, you didn't chase, you didn't collapse, you didn't beg. You built. You turned the silence into strength, the rejection into redirection, the absence into ascension. And the most powerful part? She never saw it coming. Because when you stop chasing, you start leading, and when you stop talking, they start feeling what they've lost. So from this moment forward, you don't prove, you don't react, you don't explain, you rise, subscribe if you're done overthinking messages and done losing yourself in ghosted conversations. This channel is where presence, clarity, and psychological power begin. Comment below. Which step changed your mindset the most? Drop the number. Let it sink in. Share this video with someone who's still stuck refreshing her story, still chasing validation, still giving power away like it's free. Support the channel if this content spoke to your spine, your soul, your silence. Help us bring this truth to more people who need to hear it before they send another message that breaks their value. You were never supposed to chase her. You were supposed to build the version of yourself she'd never be allowed to ignore again. You just did.